the very first episode of the Brown Girl Diaries. My name is Shiva Ramachandran and I'll be hosting you through this. Well, the Brown Girl Diaries is something that we at Brown Girl Magazine came up with. It's a video blog that basically culminates a lot of South Asian news, events, gossip, anything we can think of basically that week. First up, we have our Spotlight section. The Spotlight section is basically a section where we cover an up-and-coming South Asian. This could be anyone from an up-and-coming South Asian in the political scene, a subway musician crooning in your nearest subway station, or an improv comedian who is making waves in the New York art scene. We have an amazing talent on our first Spotlight section ever, and you should go and check it out.
Once upon a time, long ago, in a faraway land called India, I used to be a virgin.
Having grown up in the streets of India, Radhika Vaz probably never would have imagined that she would one day be a popular improv comedian in New York City. She has quite the resume, with improvised shows, sketch comedies, 2 independent films, a small spot on Comedy Central's Instant Comedy, an off-Broadway play, and a highly successful one-woman show, Unladylike. Radhika has pretty much made it. And what made it all possible was just a chance improv class she took in 2001, around the time she moved to the city of New York. I had the chance to sit with her and talk about her experiences as a brown girl comedian in the city of New York.
When I first started doing improvised comedy, which is different from stand-up, so you just make something up from a suggestion that you get from an audience member, and it was, I think, great groundwork for me because it sort of helped me hone my focus, my ability to listen, my ability to sort of like observe and look at different things, also to just have an instinct about what's funny. And then I started doing some writing classes which were comedy monologues and sketch writing and stuff like that. But my show now, that's called Unladylike, Pitfalls and Propriety, is material that I wrote over the course of sort of the last few years. When a man calls a woman a nag, what we hear is this: you are a cranky, unfuckable old shrew.
South Asian comedians are rare, and then a female South Asian comedian is rarer still.
Yes.
So how did you fall into it?
I'm like the Yeti. There's just one of me sneaking around. I went to college and did economics, even though the only thing I could do right through school, and I'm not even saying I did it well, but I probably was a little bit more enthusiastic than the average kid, was theatre. But I never took it up, even though my parents encouraged me. I'm the only child, so they're like, do what you want, just don't take too many drugs. Lucky. Yeah, exactly. I didn't see a future because my exposure to Indian film and TV was very sort of like Bollywood, and I knew that there was no way, I felt I didn't fit into that. And then when I moved to New York, and I started doing improv just as a hobby. I used to work for an advertising agency in account management, not even like creative. And I just started as a hobby, and that's when I started thinking, okay, maybe. And literally, I mean, I'm almost 40 now, I'll be 40 next year. So I made the change of quitting my advertising job, and I think like 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago.
So when you go back,
yes,
and I know that you've done a few shows,
yeah,
and when you go back just in culturally in society, is there a certain kind of, do the auntie G's and the uncles and everybody look at you differently? Is there a certain reaction you get?
Not really. See, people who knew me growing up, so my aunties and uncles, they're not surprised because they're like, oh my god, we totally knew this. All of them are like,
wow,
exactly what. Culturally, my show actually, a lot of people ask me, do you change the material for India? Because it's a raunchy show, and it's not all about sex. It's just, I do talk about vaginal parts. Right. And I also talk about, the confusion that was for me and for many of my friends about like premarital sex. But my parents never sat me down and told me anything about sex. It wasn't don't do it or do it. It was just like, if you don't speak to her, she'll figure it out herself.
Same with me.
Which is how all of us are figuring it, right? Yeah. A lot of people are surprised that the exact same show is transplanted to India and it works as well over there. And I feel it works as well because culturally I think we're at a very different stage from what people think we even are. Like, right. There are thousands of women like us.
Have you seen an emerging Indian comedian scene here?
Totally. There are plenty of stand-up comedians who are Indians. I have a few friends who do a lot of stand-up. I like improv a lot. I don't see a lot of Indians in improv.
It's terrifying. It's against everything.
I think so, maybe, right? Every now and then there's a girl or a guy who's Indian. And there again, I feel like comedy's not the most Indian thing. I feel like we're known for dance and music and literature and so much other stuff, right? But this style of comedy that what Westerners have got us used to, that's something we're not used to seeing.
Do you have any words of advice for people who are trying to do this, trying to get out there?
I don't really have advice, but I have what I did, which is, you know,
great, yeah.
so when I quit my job to become an actor and a performer, I went for a lot of auditions. I didn't necessarily fit what they were looking for always. And so after a period of frustration, I decided that I was just going to write an hour-long show. I really took it as seriously as I could because I realized that it would be a visiting card for me to be like, okay, at least I have this one show, come watch it. And I just wanted to be able to also have some control over what was happening to me because nothing was happening at all. And I think that a lot of performers, especially comedians, get 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That's great because it's a different skill that you're learning. But I feel like just don't wait for Comedy Central or anybody to fucking call you. We want a 1 hour special, just do it yourself. And if you have to call all your friends to watch you or whatever, just that's the way it's going to be. But it's fine.
And there's something I read about you that I want to tell everyone. You sold out your Unladylike first show, right?
Yes, I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool. I mean, again, friends, family, just go after everyone you know. People will stop Facebook friending you once you decide to fill a hall. That's when it was like, unfriend Radhika, I don't want to see her again.
Can you tell us about any new upcoming shows?
On the 14th, which is a Thursday night, I'm hosting a charity event. It's for Women's Education Project, and it's run by an American girl, but she basically raises funds to help 2 centers in India where they help women go to college. And then on the 29th of June at 8 p.m. at the Producers Club on 44th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue, I'm performing my show.
Woo!
Yeah,
And we'll all be there.
Yeah, please be there, and you can go to radbaz.com if you want anything.
We're going to put that right there on the screen.
Screen.
Excellent. That's all I have.
That's
but
all
this
you
was
have?
so great to meet you.
It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, and we will definitely be checking out more of your stuff.
Yes, please.
So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I even tried repeating this phrase over and over again.
I love him just the way he is.
And I don't want to change anything about him. I love him just the way he is. And I don't want to change anything about him. I love him just the way he is. And I don't want to change anything about him.
Radhika Voss was so great to talk to. She's spectacular on stage, as we all know, but she's totally awesome off stage as well. I had the greatest time talking to her, and I can't believe we landed such a great spotlight for our first show. Speaking of shows, I got to cover a very interesting band last weekend. They were playing at a bar in Brooklyn, and I heard of it, and I went to see them. These guys are Sani Ali and the Kid. The duo comprises of Hassan Malik and Abdullah Saeed, and they're Pakistani Americans who define their genre as country punk. They're very controversial, have been creating a lot of buzz, and are also part of the very, very controversial band, the Communards.
Sani Ali and the Kid have been making waves in the South Asian music scene, defining their genre as country punk and admittedly being inspired and associated with the Islamic punk movement, popularly known as Taqwacore, as inspired from the book of the same name. These guys are highly controversial. Last weekend I got to see them in action. There was no doubt that they were highly talented musicians, and their topic and song name
the song's called Hijabi.
gave me pause and thought.
Sunny Ali and the Kid are definitely a controversial band, as I've said so about 1,000 times already. And there are people who really like them, and there are people who are kind of not so much on board. I want to hear what you guys think. You should check out the duo at sunnyaliandthekid.bandcamp.com. Should be right here on your screen. The Takukor movement, which is the Islam punk movement, are made by bands like the Communals and Sunny Ali and the Kid. So no matter what you think, I think it's interesting and vital to know about them, read about them, and have an opinion on the subject. So listen to the music, read about them, and send us a message at Brown Girl. In a couple of shows, we will be interviewing them as well, so we can definitely ask any questions you may have. In our weekly roundup section, we talk about the latest articles hitting our Brown Girl website. This week on Brown Girl, Rishika Reddy, in her article, The Asian American Vote, tells you how much power we do and could have if we all just decide to care a little bit more. Always want a scrapbook? Komal Tucker takes you on a fabulous scrapbooking adventure. Brown Girl Sheila Lal gets a Fulbright scholarship and tells you how to get one. Okay, are we the coolest side or what? And last but definitely most close to the heart, Nella Shea gives her own viewpoint on the age-old question. Love marriage, arranged marriage. All this in the YouTube links below, and for more you should go to browngirlmagazine.com. I'll see you guys next week.
If I did acting, what were my options given? Hey, what an asshole. New York people. He's never going to get laid. He has a small penis. I know this person. I hope that's going in the vlog. It'll go in the vlog.